Do you understand mindfulness? Do you understand meditation? I find most people struggle with it. Most people really don't understand very well how mindfulness is supposed to work. And when you watch them or talk to them about it, what actually you hear is that they're doing it wrong. And because of that, it's not very successful. They don't feel very good about it. They're not getting the results they're wanting. So today, I want to help. I want to help you learn mindfulness. And in the process, learn how to create more self-regulation. Check it out. Yoga Psych. Ancient answers for your current problems. Hi, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and welcome back to Yoga Psych. This is our fifth in the series of yoga disciplines. We're going through all the different yoga disciplines, and we're helping you understand what yoga is and how can it apply immediately in your life to help you with symptoms of anxiety, depression, whatever, relationships, life. We want to help you understand the psychology in yoga practices. And as we've been talking about the 5 minds and how these different yoga practices really are amazing because they apply to the different parts of you, the different minds that you have. And I think that's what makes the yoga so interesting or so amazing to me is yoga is not one thing. It's several different ways of learning, several different ways of being able to practice mindfulness or practice finding God or practice finding truth. There's many different ways to find truth. And these 4 primary ways of doing yoga are matching perfectly with the 4 minds, the 4 core parts of your brain. Today's series, we're looking at the 4th, the last. We're looking at your highest brain, your conscious mind. Now, your conscious mind is an amazing thing because your conscious mind is so different than all the others. We talk about the different kind of functional brains, the left and right neocortex, the limbic system, the brain stem. But the conscious mind, we can't really point to a point and say, that's your conscious mind. I can point to your limbic system and say, there's your emotions. And I can point to your hippocampus and say, hey, that's where your memories are stored and created. I can point to your motor cortex or your occipital lobes and say, hey, that's where you're visualizing things or seeing things, and motor cortex, that's where you're able to move your hands and arms. But with consciousness, it's much more mysterious. It's a really interesting thing because it seems to be a function of all of your brain coming together and creating something bigger, something greater than any of the little individual parts that we have. So that's pretty awesome. The second thing that's amazing and awesome about your conscious mind is that nobody else has got one. Well, nobody else in terms of other creatures on the planet. Life in the universe is pretty amazing itself. It's pretty rare that we have life. But here on Earth, we have life, and we've had life for millions and maybe billions of years. But what's really amazing is that of all those creatures, those billions of creatures that have lived on the planet forever, only one has consciousness. Only one in the history of the world. And that's you. That's me. Now, again, the way I explain consciousness is think of it as a heightened state of awareness. I am aware of this room because I can see it, because I can hear it, I can touch it and feel it. I can maybe even smell the smells that are in the room. I don't know if I could taste the room, but maybe. I'm aware of this room because sensory input, and all animals and creatures have that ability. But what consciousness is an awareness just like that, but it's an awareness that doesn't flow through our fingertips. It doesn't flow through our eyes. It doesn't flow through our ears or our mouth or through our nose. It's a consciousness, it's an awareness of things that transcends all sensory input. And therefore, really cool, it can be independent of our sensory input. So in other words, I can watch myself thinking, what am I thinking about right now? Wonder why I'm thinking that. I can watch myself breathe. I can watch myself feeling emotions. That ability to stand outside myself and to watch myself is what is consciousness. And to our best of our knowledge, no other creature seems to have that but us. Now, this last yoga that we're going to talk about is called Raja Yoga. And Raja, as we talked about in the very first part, it means king. And the reason why they call this Raja Yoga is because it's not the meditation of the king. We don't meditate on the king. What it means is it's the most supreme. It's the most elevated. It's the most important. It's the most essential of all the different yogas. And this yoga, probably aside from what we think of as Hatha yoga, which is the postures and poses, this yoga is really what we think of as yoga. This yoga is about meditation and about mindfulness, finding our way to God, the path to God or truth or enlightenment through a meditative practice. Now, in this video today, in this last video, talking about this Raja Yoga, I want to talk a little bit about the right practice. Just like in Ana Yoga, which is the thinking brain yoga, there's a right awareness. And in Karma Yoga, there's right behaviors. And in Bhakti Yoga, there's a right heart or a right emotional spirit that we have to bring. Well, here, there's a right practice as well. And the right practice is to practice awareness. Open awareness. Now, again, let me tell you a little story because I love stories. I was teaching at a conference this week, a conference on trauma, particularly betrayal trauma, emotional trauma that comes through affairs, emotional affairs, and helping couples restore their relationships. And in talking about trauma, we had a guy come, and he works at our clinic, Dallin. And Dallin's whole thing, his whole shtick, is teaching people mindfulness, teaching people how to be mindful. So he ran us through a mindfulness exercise, and he made a very awesome, amazing point in his exercise. And that point was that when we're practicing mindfulness, it's not about control. It's not about trying to control. It's about being aware, just simply being aware. So let's do a little mindfulness exercise and let's see if we can help you practice what we're talking about so you can get a feel for it for yourself as well. What I want you to do is I want you to get yourself in a comfortable place, a comfortable circumstance, sitting, maybe even lying down. And the reason why I want that is because I want to free your energy. I want to free your attention. Getting yourself in a comfortable place, you get to free yourself. Now, breathe. Remember the diaphragmatic breaths that we talked about in the last one? We were learning about karma yoga. Practice breathing low and slow. Filling the balloon and then crushing the balloon. Feel that for a few moments. Let yourself bring your balloon internally. Good. And just feel it from the inside, rising and falling. And here, again, what your job is just to be aware. If the breath is flowing and easy, notice that. If the breath is difficult, notice that. Notice your body. Notice yourself sitting or lying there. And notice your arms, your legs. Just be aware of them, as if you're standing outside of yourself watching your body. If there's any pain or discomfort in your body, notice that too. If there's any ease or comfort in your body, notice that too. And what you're noticing is just what you're noticing. The job is not to control anything or make anything happen. You're just aware. Now be aware of the energy in your body. Be aware of your emotions and feelings. If your emotions and feelings are agitated or confused, notice that. Notice where that is in your body and just let yourself be with that. Good. And if your body is feeling peaceful, happy, love, notice that too. Be aware of that and let that be as well. You may find yourself noticing yourself continually going back to noticing your breathing or even noticing your body again. And that's all good too. Your job is just notice whatever comes up, whatever you notice. Now here's the key. Notice your thoughts. Notice how your thoughts have been rolling the whole time. Notice how your thoughts are just always going, churning, moving, wondering. And sometimes they get quiet for a moment, and you can notice that. And sometimes they're busy, and you can notice that. You're here to just be here and just be with whatever comes up. If your thoughts are full of negativity and this isn't going to work and I'm doing it all wrong, just notice that. Don't try to fix it or change it. Just be with it. And if your thoughts are positive and pleasant, this feels good, I like this, I can do this, notice that too. Very good. Very good. Now bring yourself back to this moment, to this here and to this now. Back into this room. Obviously, your homework assignment this week is going to be to practice. Just practice being mindful, being in your body. You can replay this if you want to as well, and there's lots of other apps and applications out there that will help you practice just being. But again, I want you to get you out of the thinking of I need to control or I need to make or I need to perform in any way, shape, or any way, shape, or form. Blah. Let it all go. Make mistakes. I make mistakes. I want you to make mistakes. And just notice them. That's your only job, is just to notice whatever comes up for you. And the power in that is going to be that you are going to disconnect from whatever's going on. Whatever fear or anxiety or doubt or even pleasure is happening in your body, you're going to be able to now disconnect from it and just notice it, watch it, witness it. And that is a key element to yoga. And that is the key element to Yoga Psych, is to helping you separate you, who you are, the witness, the noticer, the person who's aware, from what's going on inside of you, the feelings, the shame, the anxiety, the pain, the tension, whatever it is. You got to disconnect from it, because it's only when you're disconnected from that that you can begin to change it. Thank you so much for watching this quick little series on yoga. Again, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink. Let's talk again. Take care. Hey, I haven't told you yet, make sure you go to yogapsych.com, because that's where you're going to find these ancient answers for your current problems. Take care.